40 minutes. That's all that separates Canada from a potential Olympic berth to Paris in 2024. The Canadians take it on Spain, number 5 against number 4 in the world. Welcome inside the Sportsnet studios. I'm Ben Schulman. She's Miranda Iam. And Miranda, a matchup we've been talking about today. They talked a lot about Kayla Alexander, did Danielle, pardon me. Her matchup against Megan Gustafsson of Spain is going to be something to watch inside.
Yeah, when we look at what are going to be the key game changers today, based on yesterday's games, the inside player was a really, really big force to contend with. So we have Gustafsson on the Spanish side. We have Kayla on our side. On Team Canada's side, I think it's going to be a battle of wills inside the paint.
That is definitely how it went down for both of these teams in yesterday's game. For Canada, it worked to a 12-point win over Hungary. So they're 1-0, and to go 2-0, just to clarify, would guarantee them a spot in the Olympics. On Spain's side, they were talking about it a little bit before too. They played well inside, but just got outshot by Japan, who was really, really good. How do you think Spain bounces back from a performance like that? An upset, even though Japan is one of the top 10 teams in the world.
Spain is a strong team mentally. Even when they have some of those games, we know that they're going to come back with that Spanish, vamos, let's go, let's get into it. So I suspect that there's going to be a high level of energy starting this game off.
Yeah, I think so too. Miguel Mendez and his Spanish side really looking for a win here today. They could be in a tough position if they don't end up defeating Canada. And Victor La Peña, a Spaniard himself, gets to coach against his own country in a way, now representing Canada, coaching the national team. Japan and Hungary will play later, but we are just about ready to get underway. Natalie Achonwa and Canada walking onto the floor. And we talk about Japan shooting. What do you think of Canada's shooting? They didn't make a three-pointer until the second half yesterday. Do you really think that can fly in a game against Spain today?
I think Team Canada is hoping that they lifted the lid off of the three-point basket, and that's going to continue to carry over in today, especially when we know that this is a kind of game that's going to go down to the wire. So every shot counts, whether it's inside with our big players, outside with our guards, knocking down those big shots.
Getting ready for tip-off right now. Kayla Alexander's going to go up against Raquel Carrera. Carrera was really good for Spain yesterday in the loss at a team-high 19 points. Alexander taps it back. Carrera hits it, but Canada will start with possession. Naira Fields has the ball, and we are underway. First quarter here of potentially the game that could secure Canada an Olympic berth, but an early turnover. Here comes Spain. Driving the baseline, a contested pull-up. No good there for Spain. They'll like to work the ball around a lot. That was Maria Conde with the first shot. The other way, Achonwa misses the shot, and it's a rebound for Conde.
I anticipate this is going to be a very fast-paced game. We know that Spanish, they are very, very fast. They like to move the ball around, lots of ball movement, but Team Canada as well has been wanting to attack with greater frequency.
Up top right now, Laura Heel trying to go inside, and a foul drawn there underneath by Raquel Carrera. There's a lot of size on this Spanish team.
Historically, Spain has been a little bit shorter, but they're bringing in Gustafsson and Heel as well on the inside. Gives them a bit better contention with our large post down in the block.
Raquel Carrera at 6'3" at the line right now. The first free throw bounces in. One of the younger players on this Spanish team. Began her pro career in 2016, now 22 years old. Makes them both in Spain with an early lead. Canada got on top yesterday and really never trailed. They turned the ball over in their own half, though, with some Spanish pressure. Credit Casas, 9 in red. Now driving, it's Conde to the rim, and it bounces in. 4-0 Spain. Aggressive offense early on. Here's Fields the other way. Can Canada get it inside? Alexander flashing up, and the pass goes off a foot when they were trying to find Achonwa.
Now those are those turnovers that we were talking about yesterday, Ben. Those fumbles that yesterday weren't converted by the Hungary team. But today, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of fast breaks going the other way if Canada is loose with the ball there.
Carleton misses the shot. Alexander on the putback, just off. And Canada still can't break the ice yet. Here's Spain the other way. Might have been a travel there. Instead it goes to Heel, who tries to fire it back in. Good deflection inside by Canada. Fields got a hand on it, and she's driving in the other direction. Carleton, deep three. That one's off, rebounded by Spain, who gets out running. It's Conde, pass inside, and another Canadian foul. Fields caught there. Carol Casas drawing the foul, 31-year-old from Girona in her 16th professional season. Inbound pass goes to Maite Cazorla up top, and now it's in the corner. Conde drives the baseline, gets some space, and scores. Second bucket going right to the rim for Maria Conde.
That's a beauty drive, so smooth, attacking right on the baseline. Too fast for the help defender to come around and help there.
Achanwa with some space, kicks it out to Carleton. Had 18 yesterday. Her entry pass is stolen by Heel. On the fast break, Heel with the layup, but enough of a contest from Carleton to force a miss. Still Spain ball. Cazorla to the left wing. Conde for three. Short, and Achanwa chases down the rebound. What are you looking for here on offense? Canada still hasn't put their first points up yet.
Exactly. You see our point guard coming, slowing down the pace a little bit, and Canada's wanting to get something precise. So they're getting to that ball, that side ball screen. Shea gets in there and gets the shot off, but we're coming down.
Holly with the contested miss there. Carleton now defending on the other side. Achanwa tries to deny the pass. It goes inside to Heel, fouled by Alexander. Laura Heel will head to the line.
It's in these moments where you're seeing Nat bring the team together, trying to get a little bit of composure, settle down. When the nerves are high going into a game like this, where we know that it matters, sometimes these first few minutes can be a little bit touch and go, but this is an opportunity for the Team Canada to come together, settle down, get on the same page, and then go down on the other side and get that first basket.
After the Alexander foul, Leticia Amaher is going to come into the game. What is it like, you know, you're getting up that day, you're going to warm up, and you know this is one of the biggest basketball games you're going to play in your life. Heel hits the first. What are the feelings like, you know, your stomach and your head when you catch the ball? What is that difference?
Well, the pressure and the expectation is certainly there, but remember, a lot of these starters for Canada played 35 minutes yesterday. So even just the physical recovery of that is something that we need to pay attention to.
Another turnover by Canada, forced in their own backcourt. Here's Spain with numbers to the middle. Carrera missed the shot, and the first rebound for Amaher. She'll carry it over half now and quickly finds Shea Colley. 3.5 minutes into the game, Canada looking for its first point. Achanwa inside, lost the ball, another steal for Spain. It's Conde picking it up. Skip pass and a three from Casas, good. 11-0 Spain. Canada needs a timeout. The Spaniards are all over them early on. Quick offense coming from the number 4 team in the world, Canada, trying to slow it down. We'll be back in just a moment with first quarter action. Welcome back to the Olympic qualifying tournament in Sopron, Hungary. Canada knew it would get a tougher test today in Spain than the win yesterday over Hungary. But boy, has it been tough so far. 11-0, the Spaniards lead about 4 minutes in. I'm Ben Schulman, she's Miranda Ayam. Canada just called its first timeout. Now they look for their first bucket, 0 for 5 from the floor so far. Amaher spinning, stepping through. The lefty scoop shot is good, tough make. And that's big for Canada to break the ice.
And mentally now we are on the floor.
Can they translate that into the defensive side of the ball? Heel hands it off. It's Conde. Looking for Heel again. Instead, the long pass and the three from Carrera. No good. Rebound up for grabs. It's Naira Fields' ball. Fields from Montreal kicks it back. Amihere for three. It's short. And that will give it back to Spain. Potentially even more damaging in the first couple minutes than the 0 for 5 from the floor. Canada turned it over 5 times in about 3.5 minutes of action. They have to keep the ball a little bit more.
For a team going into a matchup against Spain, who does play very quickly, it's easy to get sucked into their style of play and their pace, which is above Canada's, and that forces those turnovers that we're talking about.
Here's Spain on offense once again. First touch today for Andrea Bilaro. She swings it over to Heel. 5 to shoot for Spain. Got to get something up. Inside to Heel. 1 to shoot. Her off-balance shot never hit the rim. That's a shot clock violation. Heel thought there might have been a foul, but Canada will force a turnover and take it back. Win and get in for the Canadians. 3 out of 4 teams in this group will qualify for the Olympics. So 2 wins is all you need to make sure you're there. They're 1-0 right now. Alexander hands it off and gets it right back. Gives it once again to Bridget Carleton and tries to get free and draws a foul. And they're going to need Bridget Carleton to be a big part of the offense today.
Exactly. Canada needs to be aggressive here and get either to the basket or get those fouls like we just saw with Bridget Carleton there.
That was one thing they did really well yesterday against Hungary. They drew a ton of fouls early in the game.
It's an indicator for success. If you can get to the line early, those are those easy buckets that make everything else flow a lot smoother.
Carleton hits the first. 26-year-old from Chatham, Ontario, player for the Minnesota Lynx. Buries them both, and 4 straight points for Canada out of the timeout. They're going to apply a little bit of front court pressure to Spain, just like Spain is doing to them. And here on the wing, it's Bilaro. Heel is really the orchestrator up top. Now they drive the right side. Conde was turning away from the net as she put it up. It's a miss, and here comes Canada. Fields needs some help, finds Alexander. 2 bigs in the game for Canada as the Atlanta Dreams' Leticia Amihere hands it off. A stop in the key. Silas Swords, the 18-year-old, kicks it back out. Now Carleton down the middle of the floor. Push shot no good, and a rebound for Heel. Defensive game early on. 6 minutes in, Canada trailing by 7. Corner 3 on the way. No good. Spain with the only made 3 today. Amihere sets up the screen. Double comes. A bit of a wild pass, but it's saved for Canada. Not a lot of time to shoot. Amihere steps around a defender and scores. Kind of a baby Euro there, and it works for Canada. 6-0 run.
Yes, Ben, but you see that we're starting our offense, Canada, at 10, 11 seconds left and trying to force something with not a lot of time there.
Foul off the ball. And that's just not very sustainable, right? At a certain point, the defense is going to benefit from you running your offense that late.
Absolutely. Leticia did an amazing job getting to the basket, which is exactly what Canada needs at this point.
Just saw there Alba Torrens checking into the game, the 34-year-old who is one of the great players of this generation. She can really hurt Canada if she gets going.
I'm very curious to see what she does today after having scored only 3 points yesterday in the game against Japan.
A 2-time FIBA Women's Player of the Year. Torrens is 7 in red on the left wing. Spain with not a lot of time to shoot. Heel's going to have to make something happen. Good defense from Amihere, and that's going to be another shot clock violation. Not only has the offense been better out of the timeout, that's 2 violations they've forced since Victor LaPena called for a break.
When you're in a position where the shots might not be falling on the offensive side, you want to depend on your defense, and that's what we're seeing from Canada here, making it really tough to get easy buckets down in the post there.
Kayla Alexander helping out Bridget Carlton a bit to break that front court pressure. Here's Alexander handing it off to Swords, the Michigan commit. Gets around Torres. Pass over to Colley. Only 6 to shoot, puts it up, and it's a long rebound for Amiher. She's gonna go right back at heel. Shot no good. And the ball on the floor. Amiher comes up with it in a pile. Swords with the jumper. Off the heel of the rim, and finally Spain has the defensive rebound. Great activity inside, though, from Amiher.
Great hustle, getting it on the floor, kicking it out to the shooter.
Here's Bilaro. Pass up top, stolen by Swords. She had 3 steals in limited action yesterday. Here comes Carlton slipping on the floor, but somehow off her knees flips it back outside. Colley doesn't use the screen left. Fakes it again and just misses the layup. Alexander and one.
Okay, we're getting exciting here. Oh, with that shake and bake by Shea Colley and then a follow by Alexander, was it? Yes. There's a bit of the passion, and Canada is able to take advantage of moments like those to assert we're still here.
8-0 run for Canada between timeouts. They'll take another break now in a 1-possession game. We'll be back in a moment. Stick around on Sportsnet. On February 23rd on Sportsnet Plus, Nicaragua versus Canada, a qualifier for the FIBA Men's America. The men's team coming off one of their best successes, that bronze medal at the World Cup. They'll be in Paris in 2024, and the women can punch their ticket to Paris as well with a win today. Kayla Alexander just finished off her 3-point play, so it's a 9-0 Canadian run here. We're late in the first quarter. Long 2 for Spain, and a rebound hauled in there. Carlton came down with it. Here comes Canada. They were down 11-0 to start this game. Carlton trying to tie it, and they'll give her the foul on that one. Bridget Carlton headed to the line for the second time today.
Canada continuing to attack and get into the key, get those fouls. And I heard, my Spanish isn't great, but heard a little bit on the Spanish side of being worried about those offensive rebounds, because Canada does have size. And if those initial shots aren't falling, they want to grab those baskets and get back up.
I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but how do you say offensive rebounds in Spanish?
I don't even want to attempt that, because our listeners will be judging harshly.
Carlton missed the first. Here's the second one. It's good. 10-0 run for Canada. They're a point away from time. Carlton's going to get a bit of a rest here at the end of the first quarter. Shea Colley picking up full court. Spain did a lot of damage driving inside early on. They've taken more jumpers recently, and Canada's benefited from it. Canadians pick up a steal here, and they have a chance to take their first lead of the game. Swords and one! What a make by Sila Swords. Canada in front with a chance to make it a 2-point advantage.
Can see Canada trying to mix it up. They were in zone defensively on the other side. Seems like it put a bit of hesitancy into Spain, and they got the steal and the layup and the foul.
The defense has been so good for Canada. More than 5 minutes since Spain scored a basket. Rebound there for Canada, so no 3-point play completed, but Swords giving the Canadians the lead. Ubiña to the middle. And they'll kick it back out. Shot going up for Gustafsson, and it's good. That's the first bucket today for Megan Gustafsson, a 27-year-old American-born Spanish naturalized player. So just a brief lead for Canada. They're trying to take it back here. 30 seconds to go, first quarter. Swords crosses over, tries to get around Torrens, still gets off a pass from the floor, but Alexander can't convert it, and Spain now can hold for the final shot with the shot clock turned off. Swords the primary defender right now for Canada. Ubiña with 5 to shoot. Kicks it out. Gustafsson for 3. It's good. Megan Gustafsson with 2 big shots for Spain, and that's how we wrap up a back and forth first quarter. Spain scores 11 straight, Canada scores 12 straight, and the Spanish respond to have a slim lead at the end of one. Second quarter in Chopron, Canada trying to punch their ticket to the 2024 Olympics. 16-12 the lead right now for Spain over Canada. Appreciate you hanging out with us on this Friday morning. I'm Ben Schulman. She's Miranda Iam. Spain will start with the ball. Maite Cazorla carries it over. And now Torrens options it to the right wing. Spain scored the first 11 points of the quarter. And then had 5 quick points from Megan Gustafsson, who just set the screen. Spain with only 6 to shoot, gonna have to put something up. A step in 3, no good, but a back tap, and Spain keeps the ball. It's Cazorla again. Carrera rolling with her. Cazorla to the hoop, and Carrera with the offensive rebound. Missed the shot. Achanwa rips it down. Canada has the ball. Fields. Pull-up jumper, top of the key is good. First bucket of the day for Naira Fields, who had 6 points and 8 rebounds yesterday. Spain 0-1 in the tournament, trying to avoid what would be a scary situation if they go 0-2 into the final day. Canada trying to clinch, and the jumper is good from the free throw line.
Can see Canada going back and forth between man and zone there, and what we're seeing is what was just hit is the weak area of the zone. That high post shot is tough to guard.
Megan Gustafsson hit that shot. She's hit both jumpers there from about the free throw line. Carlton's fadeaway is off the mark, and Spain has the ball up 4. Driving the left side, Casas with a lot of contact, finds a way to put it in. Spain up by 6 once again.
That's her sweet spot, Casas, a strong left drive.
Amihere hands it off to Fields. Fields looking at Carlton on the right wing, only 7 to shoot. Takes the ball to the hoop, a little hop step, and the layup off the mark. Rebound here for Cazorla, who's working it on the weak side of the floor. Cazorla lays it up with the left. And Spain generating some momentum again as we start this quarter. They're back up by 8 points.
I mean, both Spain and Canada are getting some drives to the basket. The difference right here, I think, is Spain is finishing them.
Canada drawing a foul there. Torrens and Carlton with a lot of hand fighting as they were moving up toward the ball. Carlton trying to get open. And that will check Torrens out of the game. 3rd foul drawn already in this game by Bridget Carlton. Canada makes some switches as well. Going to bring Shayna Pellington into the game. Kayla Alexander comes in as well. Didn't see a ton of Pellington yesterday, the 24-year-old from Pickering. Inbound pass to Achanwa. They're looking for Alexander, but can't find her down low, so a handoff goes to Carlton. Pass to a cutting Achanwa, and the layup's good. Great movement off the ball and a nice feed.
Getting it back inside where Canada wants that ball.
Just the 2nd Canadian assist so far today. Spain always with a high assist number. Had 22 on 30 field goals in their loss yesterday. Canada doing a good job of keeping them outside for a lot of the shot clock. The runner right at the end of the clock draws a foul. Carol Casas going to the line after a strong drive.
Very strong drive. I know on Canada's side, that's what we don't want to see. Maybe that last bailout foul. You can see Shea. Ooh, that was a very light foul. If that, I mean, we're not refs here, but we're just looking at it from the outside.
Casas' first free throw up, and good. Is there something from a coach, though, where they would say that late in the shot clock, don't even get in the mix? Now, she was pretty close to the hoop, so it's hard to say don't contest at all, but What are they telling you in those situations?
That's when it's helpful to know the personnel as well. I had mentioned before, Cassis likes to go left. There, she's going to her right hand, usually finishing maybe a little bit less on that side. So it's a judgment call for the defender there.
Colley going all the way to the hoop. She found a seam and lays it up with the left, her first make of the game. And Canada now trading some baskets with Spain. 3 minutes into this second quarter, Canada's held just one lead today. It goes inside. Gustafsson missed the shot, and a rebound for Achanwa. Here's Pellington. Played at Oklahoma and Arizona. And now Alexander handing it off. Colley to Carlton with the jumper. Too strong, offensive rebound, Pellington. She's going to drive right at Casas, has a chance on the reverse, but missed the layup with the right, and Spain comes down with the rebound. Gustafsson receives the ball in the post. Spins, nice up fake, and draws the foul as Canada came to double. She is just a tough cover.
She is, especially with that up and under move that seems to be a go-to of hers. Just being so strong and keeping that strong foundation as well gives her a little bit more steadiness going up to get that foul.
Gustafsson with 15 points in the loss yesterday, went 7 for 9 from the floor. She was just a great college player at Iowa, won multiple, there's all these different awards in college. She won multiple Player of the Year awards, Naismith Player of the Year awards, averaged 28 points per game as a senior, and is one of only 2 retired numbers in Iowa Hawkeyes history. Her number 10 hangs in the Raptors. Strong shift for her so far off the bench today with the game high 9 points. Canada trying to get a little bit closer. They entered the quarter down 4. Carlton pass to the inside. Alexander tries to flip it back. Carlton wasn't looking, but Canada comes up with it. Fields with 5 to shoot. Was trying to get it off. Will have to fade away to beat the shot clock. Was going to be a violation. Spain comes up with it anyway. Heel on the left wing. Finds Conde with some space in the middle. The layup on the left side too strong. Offensive board for Spain. It's ripped away by Canada. Carlton came up with the steal. Fields steps into the 3. Too strong. Hands on the offensive rebound, but it's off Canada and over the baseline. Colley nearly had the board. Timeout on the floor. The Canadians falling a little bit further away here in the second quarter, but still in this game, a game where if they win, they'll qualify for Paris 2024. 26-18 Spain, back in a moment on Sportsnet. Pacific on Sportsnet. Canada hoping that that is not as meaningful of a game if they can win today and book their ticket to the Olympics. If Canada does not win today, there is no result in Game 2 that would clinch them. They will have to at least wait until Sunday to have that decided. Canadians trailing by 8. I'm Ben Schulman. She's Miranda Iam, the former Olympian. Pull-up jumper from the elbow for Cazorla, no good. Offensive rebound, and they get it right back to her. Now Conde driving the baseline. Separates from her defender and scores with the right. Spain back up 10. 10 points for Maria Conde, the 27-year-old from Madrid. Carlton with 3 points today, goes behind the back. Fade away in the key is short. And she claps her hands. Shot's been a little bit off so far in this game. Double comes and Heel receives the bounce pass. One more into the key and a foul committed by Canada. Carrera was going up for it. And I believe Kayla Alexander was the one who was charged with the foul.
Yeah, we're seeing Spain being really aggressive with getting that ball inside, whether down the lane like we just saw or with their posts.
Canada led in this game 13-12 late in the first quarter, but Spain has outscored them 16-5 since that point. This was kind of how the first quarter went. Spain with a big run. Canada responded in the back half of the quarter. But now they'll have to try and do so again after the made free throw. 11-point advantage for Spain.
And this is the time of the game that you want to decrease this margin so that you're going into the half feeling like you're ready to set up the third quarter really strong.
Spain pressuring in the backcourt for Canada, as they have for a lot of the game, have forced a handful of turnovers. But Canada breaks it this time. Alexander getting physical with Heel in the middle. Kicks it over to the corner. Carlton back to Alexander. Help defender comes. Colley up top with 5 to shoot. Trying to get some space. Screen comes, but the jumper is short, and it's a rebound there for Conde. Spain getting into the offense quickly. Conde trying to give it off. And now it swings over to the near side to Heel, guarded by Alexander. Taking her inside. Bounce pass to the baseline. Pinballs around. Canada comes up with it. Fields needs some help and finds Colley.
Look at the Spanish defense. Picking it up at half court, pushing everything out. Even the post there, they're catching it at that sticker there. Nowhere near the basket, and that's exactly where Spain wants Canada to be.
You got to have great conditioning. That's got to be very, very tiring. They are essentially, right as Canada gets the ball, they just pick them up wherever they are on the floor rather than racing back on D.
Exactly. Think about doing a wall sit in your home for 20 seconds straight, shuffling side to side. That's essentially what these guards are doing.
Fields tried to get the switch on the screen. Amaher looking for it over the top, but Fields cans the three. Big for Canada as they stop the Spanish run and are back within 10 points. First triple of the day for the Canadians, coming a little bit earlier than it did yesterday. That one waited until the third quarter. Final minutes of this first half. Pass inside, Ubiña. Now it goes back outside to Casas, who has 7 points in the half, but missed the shot at the end of the shot clock. And we saw the defense come for Canada as the offense came as well in that first quarter. We'll see if they can put another charge into Spain here in the final 2 minutes. Fields pulling up on the run, missed the shot. Alexander with the board and the putback. Kayla Alexander's second hoop, and now another timeout. Spain needs a discussion. 5 quick points for the Canadians. Naira Fields and Kayla Alexander getting Canada back into it. Can they make a push late in the quarter? Just over 2 minutes to go in the first half. Canada edging back into this one with 5 straight points before the break. They trail by 7. I'm Ben Schulman. She's Miranda Iam. And these final 2 minutes of the half, super important. What do you need to see here from Canada?
Again, we need to close this gap going into the halftime.
Wild layup on the run, no good, but after she was knocked down to the floor, Casas will get a trip to the line.
And how do we close that gap? It's by getting those defensive stops on this side. Stopping, and I think really stepping up the ball defense by Canada, because a lot of these fast guards are really getting into the heart of the defense, which makes everything else difficult. Once they get close to the key, it's hard to defend that easy drop pass down to the post or kick out for a three.
What do you think about maybe taking a step back, playing a little bit further off of Spain, giving more shot but less drive?
It's tough. It's tough on a team like this, especially when you have a few of those players who can knock down those threes, but we haven't seen that yet so far, just a couple here and there. I think it's aggressive in playing with that ball.
Spain 2 for 6 from 3 so far today. Up by 9 after the 2 makes from Casas and a poke away steal. Spain out and running. Carrera with the steal. She'll stop up. Might have dragged the pivot foot there, but doesn't get away with it. Or does get away with it. They go inside to Carrera, who kicks it back out. Heel was thinking about a 3. 6 on the shot clock, and the late drive is good. Spain converting right at the end of the shot clock once again to get back up double digits. Half the shot clock gone for Canada. Fields lost it through the legs, picks it back up with 7 to shoot. Alexander's getting open in the post, but it's poked away by Heel. Canada had not turned it over for the majority of the first quarter after a couple early ones, and all of the second till now, and now an open jumper on a miscommunication. That's knocked down by Ubiña, and Spain is up by 13. Largest lead so far for Spain with 45 seconds to go in the half. This was the opposite of what you were looking for, Miranda.
That's right, Ben.
Up top, it's Shea Colley. Pull-up jumper, and she hits it from about 10 feet out. Colley slimming down that deficit to 11.
Not mad at a movement like that, getting it down into the post, even if you can't get an easy basket directly from the post, at least making the defense shift and then kicking it back out to that shot.
Spain can hold for the final shot if they want or close to it, but they put it up with 8 left. Canada with the rebound. Colley trying to go quickly through the middle, has it taken away. Full court shot, and that will end the first half. Runs back and forth, but it's Spain who comes up with more of them, and that's why they're up 36-25 at the break. Still a lot of time, though, for Canada to get back into this ball game and try and punch their ticket to the 2024 Olympics. When we come back, we'll have some of our halftime coverage, Danielle and Sherm, and more coming up on Sportsnet.
Welcome back to our coverage of Olympic qualifying, where Canada trails 36-25 at the half. Spain with that defensive pressure once again, really getting them in the opening goings, a game of runs. So we'll see where that begins in the third quarter. So back in January, when this group met in Toronto to prepare for this Olympic qualifying, Natalie Achonwa spoke about how the major conversations within the group surrounded buying in, total commitment, something that has been ingrained within Canada basketball for as long as they've known. It's particularly shown on the women's side amongst all age groups where they've seen a lot of success. The senior women's team, of course, reaching the quarterfinals of 2 of the last 3 Olympic Games. They also finished 4th at the most recent World Cup. And how about a bronze finish at the AmeriCup? It is only just the beginning of the success they're trying to achieve.
Canada are golden in Beijing!
Canada's often associated with their dominance on the ice.
Canada wins! Red and white! Deal with it!
However, a revolution has been underway, positioning the country to impose their presence on the basketball court.
Boy, Canada has really arisen.
In the realm of athleticism and unwavering determination, the senior women's basketball team stands as a beacon of inspiration.
This is what it's about, just having a squad that can come in and be able to contribute.
It's a team filled with talent, resilience, and passion, reflecting the diverse tapestry of skill sets that make them a formidable force.
I think what these women on this team are so good at is everybody understands their role. I think that's what makes them such a well-oiled machine right now.
I'm excited about this team going forward. We have a great group of girls. The chemistry is there, the talent is there, so I'm looking forward to see what we can do on the basketball court together.
We have a lot of passion. I think that our cohesiveness as a group shows up on the court, and it helps us win some basketball games.
I can't wait to see what this group continues to do. This might be my last leg in Canada basketball as I hang up this jersey soon, but I know that our federation, and I know that this game is going to be in good hands with this next generation.
For Team Canada, the path to Paris 2024, not merely a journey, it's a quest loaded with the weight of expectations, aspirations, and the collective dreams of a nation.
I think there's pressure for us to qualify for Paris in 2024, mainly because we've been doing this for quite a few years now and had the opportunity. This would be my 3rd Olympics, Natalie's 4th, so there's been a number of years and an expectation for the women's side in Canada basketball to get to the Olympics.
Oh, I'm super confident. I honestly think this is our year. I'm very excited to go into February and to really prepare as a team, build the foundation, and just gel more. But I'm very confident. I believe that we can medal this year for the Olympics, so super excited for that.
As basketball continues to soar in popularity, Canada finds itself within a basketball renaissance.
It's got to be such a proud moment for Canada basketball and the fine people that run it. Just to look around and have this vision, but then be able to execute it and know it's just going to continue to grow and thrive.
The men's team has already clinched their spot in Paris, and if the women can mirror that same achievement, it marked the first time that both the men's and women's teams qualified for the same Olympic Games since the year 2000.
The Olympics is the biggest global sporting event, multi-sporting event, and it's on TV, and for people to be able to see Canada basketball in its entirety would be great for the game. It'll be great for the next gen to be able to watch us.
I think it's something that, we've been wanting for a very long time on both ends. And to be able to walk in the opening ceremonies and, know that we're accompanied by the men's side and the men's players, I think that's something that's going to be really motivating for both of us, to both push each other and, be the best that we can for not only Canada, but also our families, the people that again helped us get to this place.
You heard Nat talk about the Federation being in good hands, and it certainly is when there are initiatives brought forward like this. Wednesday was National Girls and Women in Sports Day. So Canada Basketball and MLSE announcing their latest collab to spread mad love for the sport by investing in initiatives and endeavors that their players want to head up to grow the game. And joining me in the comfy corner is Miranda, who of course has done so many initiatives within the community. But when you saw this particular one, Miranda, what really stood out to you about it?
Well, the thing about women's basketball in particular is we spend our entire careers outside of Canada, whether it's in Europe or in the States. And so we don't actually get a lot of opportunity to plug into our communities at home. So an initiative like this, whether it's a camp or a clinic or an event, this is an opportunity to take these impactful female leaders and bring them into our communities to pass along that beautiful wisdom and knowledge that they have.
Well, and you see in this picture, right, all these smiling faces who are getting to learn from some of the members of this senior team that we're watching right now, Miranda. And I think when you think of the 14-year-old girls, at half the rate are dropping out of boys of sports because maybe they're not getting the same type of leadership from women within the sport. Having actual players there to be a part of this journey with you's got to have a major impact.
Absolutely. When you think about representation, this is exactly what we're talking about. When you're able to see a potential path forward, whether it's in sports or something just adjacent or it's something completely different, because there's a lot of elements of sport that you can apply to whatever area of life that you want to lead into. So those are a lot of the lessons that girls in sports can then take and apply to their lives wherever they end up going.
And the Mad Love campaign in particular, I always loved it. I know you wrote a letter to yourself about your love for the game. That branding too is really important to build the women's game.
When you think about some of the obstacles that we have to go through in women's sports, still to this day, there's a lot of improvement, but it requires a lot of dedication, grit, buy-in, mad love for what you're doing, and to be able to have access to opportunity through this partnership to be able to extend that into our communities and build up the brand of our own female athletes who are trying to do something, because we know that's important on the women's side as well.
Yeah, have the recognition for the women's senior national squad and at all levels as women try to find success within this sport like yourself. Miranda, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Miranda, we'll get back to the call, of course, for the second half of this one. Canada down to Spain. A win in this one would certify them to Paris. So going to try and get back to a strong start in the second half. Stay with us on Sportsnet. Welcome back. And before we get to second half action, I obviously have to ask Sherm about the first half. Canada trailing 36-25 to the Spaniards. And at the beginning of the game, Sherm, we talked about the mental toughness that Canada displayed. And they're certainly going to need it in this one. They need it in the opening minutes where Spain was able to rip off an 11-0 run. They had a huge response with a 12-0 run of their own. What did you notice and what changed so majorly in that run?
Well, I thought Spain's pressure early in the game really forced Canada into some turnovers, 4 turnovers during that stretch. And you saw Spain able to score off those turnovers, score in transition, get into the paint, really play some physical, aggressive, downhill basketball against Canada. And I like the fact that Canada responded. Leticia was great off the bench. She attacked. Right after that timeout, she put a lot of pressure on Spain's bucket. And I thought Canada did a much better job defending the pass, defending their paint, and then turning it into buckets. And I think that's the difference in the beginning of the game. The response was great for Canada. However, they shouldn't have allowed Spain to get off to that big start.
Spain had 7 assists on 11 made field goals, moving the ball well, but defensively just a juggernaut against Canada, which has been problematic for them in past occasions.
Yeah, absolutely. And Canada is showing again that they're struggling to make threes, and Spain is taking full advantage of that. Spain is doing a great job pressuring the ball. They're extending their defense, and they're doing it full court, and they're turning Canada over. You look at Canada, 8 turnovers in this game, only 2 assists. That's because of the pressure from Spain. And Canada's not shooting the ball well. Canada's shooting 32% from the floor. Now, Spain's not shooting much better, but Spain is capitalizing off of turnovers and making free throws. Spain is plus 8 points from the free throw line. So you see their defense resulting in aggressive offense, scoring in the paint, putting a lot of pressure on Canada, and forcing Canada to play under pressure throughout the whole game.
Quick indicator of what you need to see right when they got out here in the third quarter?
I'd like to see Canada open the floor up a bit, get out in transition, but defensively make a stand. Don't allow Spain to really put that kind of pressure on their paint.
I'm sure a lot of that being discussed at the half. Canada down 36-25. Out on the court, getting ready for this big second half where a win would send them to Paris. Miranda and Ben on the call on the other side.
The second half is about to get underway. Canada potentially 2 quarters away from a berth to the 2024 Paris Olympics. Welcome back inside the Sportsnet studios. I'm Ben Schulman. She's Miranda. I am. Canada couldn't get a lot going on the offensive side in the first half. What needs to change for you to have them scoring a little more points?
What Canada needs is that ball really to get hammered inside. But that happens before the post up. That might be the screen going to the post and making sure that we're setting our offense and our defense up in the right direction, getting it close to the basket so it's just a nice turn and look.
Canada will start with the basketball here in the third quarter as Shea Colley gets us underway. Spain was very aggressive defensively, creating a number of turnovers in the first half. Right now, Colley looking for room, passes to a cutting Carlton, missed the layup, and the second chance put in by Alexander. Kayla Alexander had 5 in the first half, now up to 7 points.
That's another way to get the ball inside. Aggressive cuts, sharp movements, decisive decisions.
Carlton 0 for 7 from the floor, although she really generated that scoring opportunity. She's guarding the ball right now. Spain goes to heel on the right elbow, fakes up at Chanwa, but missed the shot on the run, and Chanwa comes down with it. Spain very, very physical right as Canada crosses half, sometimes before that. Alexander trying to get rid of it here. 6 to shoot. Lob inside, catch and layup by Fields, no good. Second chance is off the window. She thought she was fouled. It's a strong make anyway, and Canada is back down 7.
I like that bold move by Naira Fields there, posting up who looked like they were about the same height, but still hammered it up regardless.
Reverse layup, no good by Conde. Rebound Carlton. 3 points in today's game for Carlton. Can't find any space to drive there. Now needing Chanwa to come up, and she gets the pass. Colley, 5 to shoot. The 3, good! Canada right back in it, down 4. Huge three-pointer for Shea Colley.
And just like that, the gap is closed. That's what happens in games like these. You can't discount the team that's lagging behind a little bit.
7-0 run out of the halftime break for Canada in under 2 minutes. Casas had a big first half, but she misses her first shot. Rebound Alexander, and Canada trying to get back within 4. Colley to Alexander. Back to Colley, inside, too high for Chanwa, but the last touch on it was Raquel Carreras of Spain, so Canada keeps it. Colley to inbound, she goes to the middle, and Alexander got free for an open layup, and that quickly Miguel Mendez in Spain need a timeout. 9-0 run out of the break for Canada, and we have a ball game once again. It is a 2-point game as Canada looks to qualify for the 2024 Olympics. Going inside right now, working on offense for the Canadians. Miguel Mendez speaking with his team right now. They've been up by double digits more than once in this game, but Canada has found 2 big runs so far, this being the second, to just completely erase that cushion.
Absolutely. I think LaPena is gotta be happy with how his team is performing here. The cuts, the aggressiveness, both by their big players and their guards, getting it inside, and with second chance looks there as well.
That was Naira Fields on the inside. This was the biggest make of them all, though. As much as they do want to go inside, they have to have the 3 ball going a little bit, and Cauley provided that.
As well as the precision, like we saw that with the out of bounds play there. They got a wide open layup. Those are exactly the things that Canada needs to display the tightness, the precision that we were talking about last night. It makes a difference in a close game like this.
Kayla Alexander, a big part of both of those. She scored the bucket off the inbound, and she set the screen that freed up Cauley for the 3. Canada on a 9-0 run. Spain trying to break it here. Driving inside, Cazorla across the key, and the jumper just bounces in for Raquel Carrera. There's the first Spanish make of the 3rd quarter. And now a turnover the other way, and this is exactly what Spain wants the game to look like as Casas drives down the middle and draws the foul.
Those are those tough ones that break a bit of the momentum that Canada had going the other way. But also sometimes ones that you need to just foul and stop that strong drive.
Unlike a foul on Casas we talked about earlier in the game, she was going right. This time she was going to her strong left side. So Echanwa making her earn it at the line, and the first one is missed. .38-34 Spanish lead, and the second free throw no good. Didn't come out of the hand very clean, and Canada will take over after an empty trip for Spain. Still 9-2 Canada in this 3rd quarter. Carlton gets the high screen but doesn't use it. Pass to a cutting Echanwa, fouled, and she will head to the charity stripe.
Great cut by Echanwa. I think that's where you see some of her veteran knowledge come through. Canada's offense was stretched well beyond the 3-point line. Nat saw that the whole middle of the floor was open, dives hard, gets the ball, gets a foul.
Echanwa makes the first. Hasn't been a huge offensive day today for Echanwa, but she was big yesterday. 10 points, 8 rebounds, and those 2 clutch free throws here in the 3rd quarter. Canada back down 2. Trailed 36-25 coming into this 3rd quarter. Spain trying to get inside, and a foul called on the Canadians. Conde was driving. Not sure if the foul was on her drive or on the cutter. Casas, I think someone might have grabbed Casas as she was headed to the hoop. And there you see it. They're going to get it on Cauley for obstructing her. So Casas gets it back with 12 to shoot. And the pass was read the whole way by Carlton, who knocks it out of bounds. Lots of deflections yesterday for Canada when they were so good against Hungary. Not a lot of time to shoot, but Spain gets it inside. The reverse layup flipped a little too far over the hoop, though, by Cazorla. And Canada can tie the game. Cauley flips it in, and Echanwa hands it off. Defender fell for a moment, but gets back up. That was Casas deflecting Fields' pass and stealing it. Great recovery. Now in the middle, Carrera, her pass intercepted. Carlton coming the other way. Still looking for her first field goal, hands it off. And here's Naira Fields slowing it down. They'll initiate from Colley, who lobs inside. Alexander ties the game, but what a beautiful feed from Shea Colley.
Beautiful control of the pace of the game as well, especially when things are speeding up both sides. To have the presence of mind to set up your team is a quality that you want to see in your guard from Canada.
Fields and Colley doing a good job of stopping the ball for a moment. Spain going inside the kick out to heel. One more. Conde driving with 2 on the shot clock. Got a good look, but missed it. And a rebound by the guard, Colley, pushing the pace, 4-on-2. It's Fields who draws the foul. Big collision under the hoop. Cazorla was looking for the charge call, but Canada benefits from the call here, and Fields can give the Canadians a lead at the line. Spain making lots of subs. Andrea Bellaro back in the game. She scored 2 points in the first half. Fields gives Canada its second lead today. The only other Canadian lead was 13-12 with 1 minute and 8 seconds left in the first quarter. They came into this half down by double digits, but now they lead by 2 after 2 makes from Naira Fields.
When you talk about pivotal moments in the game, this is one of them. When Canada gets that lead, this is where they need to start to inch away, or at least put a little bit of a gap between them and Spain.
When they had that lead in the first quarter, it lasted all of 10-15 seconds. Here's Megan Gustafsson, who stole that lead right back for Spain near the end of the first. Spaniards running the shot clock down once again. On the run, a push shot no good by Cazorla, a shot clock violation, and Canada will take it back.
Nothing feels better than a shot clock violation when you really need to stop.
We're more than halfway through the third quarter, and this quarter's been dominated by Canada. Colley fouled, and finally the aggressive defense starting to burn Spain a little bit.
That's what Canada will want to do, continue to show the refs that those Spanish hands are all over them and hopefully get the calls in their favor.
Yeah, Bellaro putting 2 hands there on Colley. That's going to be a foul every time. That's her second. Achanwa catches the inbound and hands it right back. Here's Colley with room to go to the hoop. Was looking for a cutter to her left, but no one was there. Turnover on Canada. Cazorla around a screen and a foul called, plus the bucket. They're going to say a foul on Canada on the screen, and then Cazorla given the credit for the make. I thought they were calling an illegal screen the other way.
It seemed like a long continuation there, but they're counting that.
They're going to call it on Sila Swords, or they might have. You could see Bridget Carlton kind of saying, that wasn't me. So I'll check to see officially who was charged with the foul. And I think that's what they're doing right now, although Canada, I believe, is going to look to challenge that right now as Victor LaPena makes the signal for a screen with his fingers. It will be a Canadian challenge. There wasn't a whole lot there, it seemed, with Swords trying to fight through the screen.
So, yeah, it looks like we're going to get a few more angles and see what really happened there.
I'm calling off the ball foul, yes, and then it's back to shooting for me. Okay, so we want to review if the foul was committed before the act of shooting started. Yes. Okay.
So they're reviewing, I believe they said if the call was committed before
we have a head coach challenge,
shot?
and we want to review if the foul was committed before the act of shooting started. Can we see the main camera?
So this is an important distinction. They are not challenging, it appears, whether it was a foul or not, but rather if the continuation should have counted, if Cazorla should have been allowed to get the basket.
The illegal contact that you have called. No, this one.
Because, I mean, continuation does feel like it gets longer and longer every year. It's a long time.
That's a very long time when you look at the amount of space between the screen and where she's shooting there, and usually the continuation is on the shooter, right?
Yeah.
So this is an interesting review here.
Slow motion, and just tell me when. Can we go back and stop in a moment when he's saying?
It's hard because we're seeing what they're seeing, but when is the foul called? Is it with the whistle? Is it just when the referee, you think a foul's called before your arm physically goes up? Is it when the arm's up in the air? These are things for them to decide here on the call. Call on the floor is a made basket and essentially an and one here for Cazorla.
Go.
I'm wondering if they're going to count the dribble as a part of her shot. That might be a determining factor.
Okay, just go again, but make it, let's go.
We've taken a lot of looks at this.
When you were saying it's a foul, this is the moment when I see the gather and act of
when it's at this point in the game, a tied game, every call like this, every point matters.
The ruling on the floor stands, basket is good and sideline.
So the referee's discussing it there, and basically the final word before they decided, as you might have just heard, that the call is going to stand. They are counting that dribble essentially as the gather, is what they're saying, that this was the gather to get into the motion of shooting. It's the way that continuation is trending in all of basketball, and so that bucket's going to count, and Spain's going to keep the ball here. It's a tie game after the make. Pass to Gustafsson on the right wing, back up top, Conde. Canada in the zone. Gustafsson's going to fire a three and hit. Second made triple of the day. Gustafsson has 12 off the bench, and Spain back on top. Five points essentially on one trip for Spain. How does Canada respond here? Colley trying to go baseline on Ubina. Finds a cutting Carlton, and her shot's off the mark, but Achanwa catches it and draws a foul.
For Canada, it's tough to come back mentally when you have that momentum going in your way. You pause, your body's cooling down in the time that the refs are discussing that call, and then you have to come back and reassert your dominance in the game, and we're seeing that with that rebound by Natalie Achanwa there.
You look to the captain, I guess, to really drive the team forward. And Achanwa swishes the first free throw, so Canada's back down two. And even if this quarter ended and Canada was trailing by 2 or 3, it's a huge success of a quarter. But they came back from down 11 to lead, and now trail by 1 again. They'd like to lead again going into the fourth quarter if possible.
Absolutely. This is where you want to position yourself going into that last quarter, because you never know what's going to happen at the end of the game when pressure is mounting more and more with each second.
We just saw Maria Conde, one of the starters, off the floor. Carol Casas is back on. And Gustafsson trying to catch a pass on a pick and roll. They don't go to it. Instead, it's Ubina up top. Overhead pass, and the contest really good there. Carrera couldn't come up with a bucket as Achanwa got in her face. Colley up top, half the shot clock gone. Give and go with Achanwa, who takes a dribble, turns around, missed it short. Alexander reaching to the skies to pull it down and put it back in. She has 13 points.
Great control by Achanwa on that long pass to gather herself with that power dribble.
Fields cutting off Ubina to the baseline. Spain's going to have to bring it up top. Ilaro, right elbow jumper, falls off the rim, and a nice rebound there by Alexander. 9 rebounds, 13 points for Kayla Alexander. Canada nearly lost it in the corner, but they have it back with 12 to shoot. Colley, pick and roll, and the pass too far for Achanwa, who might have had a layup there under the hoop. That'll draw Heel and Mariana Ortiz into the game. Or Heel, one of the starters. Ortiz, a 31-year-old from Calella, Spain, coming off the bench. And for Canada, Leticia Amiher, She put in a really good shift in the first half. She scored the first bucket for Canada and provided a lot of energy off the bench.
That's exactly what you want your bench players to bring, that energy, and you see her right up in the defense side as well.
Entry pass to Gustafson. Back outside, three-pointer is short. Heel with an offensive board, had to fight two Canadians for it. Gustafson launches another three, it's too strong, and another rebound for Heel. Spain with 8 to shoot. Cazorla. Heel fighting inside, they go up top. Gustafson tried to find Heel, but it was too telegraphed and picked off by Carleton. Bounce inside, Alexander facing up. Amihere rather puts it up with the left and scores. Nice double move there on Gustafson. 3-point Canada advantage. Casa steps inside the line, and her two-pointer was high arcing and a little bit long. Canada with a chance for their largest lead. Up by 3 right now. A bounce into the post. Amihere was fouled. She was manhandled inside by Andrea Bilara.
We're seeing Canada get a lot of touches inside, whereas on the opposite side, Spain, a lot of their shots are coming from either the three-point or a long two by people that are not their primary shooters. If I'm Canada, that's where I want Spain at this point in the game.
I mean, it's worked. Spain's only scored 7 points in the quarter. Canada scored 21. And again, they're shooting better from outside today than yesterday, but still their bread and butter yesterday was the post, and it seems to be the exact same story today. Amihere hits the first. 22-year-old from Mississauga. Won 3 SEC titles and the 2022 National Championship at South Carolina. Her shot up and good. She makes them both. I was actually fortunate enough to once see her and South Carolina play against Aaliyah Edwards and UConn. And that was quite the matchup, and to have two Canadians on, at that point, the premier programs in the country was really awesome. Here the other way, it's Conde off 1 foot. Jumper no good, and Alexander with the double-double as she brings down the board. A minute to go in the third quarter, a quarter dominated by Canada. Berth to the Olympics on the line, win and get in. Alexander to Amihere. Far away from the hoop with 6 to shoot. She drives at heel, steps through, but the shot blocked. Good defense there by the big for Spain. Spain slows it down for a moment. Cazorla gets the handoff from Gustafson, finds a hole and drives in and scores. 3-point game. Really quick turn of the corner there for Cazorla.
That's something she's really good at, finding those lanes and going straight downhill to the basket.
Kick ball on the Spaniards. Canada will get 14 on the shot clock. Can't hold for the last shot officially, but can put it up with a couple seconds left and give Canada an opportunity for an offensive board if they want one. Inbound to Alexander. Fields trying to help her out and get the ball back. Lob pass to the key. Fields was blocked inside. No, they're going to call a foul. I believe it's an offensive foul, though, so it'll be a turnover anyway. Spain has the ball here with under 10 to go in the third.
That gives Spain 9.5 seconds, which is lots of time for them to set up for what they want to do.
I will say, if that was a foul call, I'm almost sure Heel was in the restricted area at that point, but here comes Spain the other way. 5 seconds to go. Cazorla bounces into Heel, who's rejected. Huge swat by Bridget Carleton, and that's how the third quarter ends. Canada comes back from an 11-point deficit at half to outscore Spain 23-9 in the third quarter. They lead by 3 going to the fourth with a berth to the Olympics on the line. Stick around on Sportsnet. Fourth quarter in Chopron, Canada 10 minutes away from a berth to the 2024 Olympics. 48-45 lead. The number 5 team in the world, Canada, on top of the number 4 team in the world, Spain. But this is still anyone's game Welcome back. I'm Ben Schulman. She's Miranda Ayum. And this game has gotten a lot closer because of a huge 23-9 third quarter by Canada. Early on, Spain going inside. Canada doubles Gustafsson, and it works out. Rebound there by Alexander, who has 13 and 11. Naira Fields started at point guard each of these last two games. She slips inside, scooped it up with the left, but couldn't score. And now the Spaniards the other way with Heel. 10 in red, Gustafsson has been one of the most dangerous offensive players today. She receives the ball up top. Now it's Casas, one of their other leading scorers. Driving to the middle, going to her strong left hand, high off the window and in. That's quite the make there for Carol Casas. And a steal right away. Casas going up with it, but she missed the layup. Canada catches a break. They lead by 1. Colley nearly had it poked from behind, finds Fields underneath, but her shot affected by Gustafsson. Cathorla guarded by Emmy here. To the middle. Gustafsson goes down low to Heel. Back to Cathorla. Heel again with a mismatch. Fields a smaller defender, but she does enough to force a miss. And now a held ball under the hoop. That'll give the ball back to Canada. So Kayla Alexander snatching up another possession for the Canadians there as she got her hands on that rebound that Gustafsson was trying to rip away.
Now this is starting to echo a bit of the first and second quarter as far as the pace of the game. I think Canada will want to slow it down a little bit and get that ball inside, or at least in the positions that they want, instead of playing into Spain's game.
Here's Colley in the middle, dumps it back. Alexander fakes now, takes and hits. She has been so big in both games. 15 points now for Kayla Alexander. Gustafsson in the middle. Casas gets a step around Colley and scores. Just shoots out of the cannon to make it a 1-point game, but Canada working with pace. Colley had a step before the foul. Cathorla grabbing her there to make sure that Canada wouldn't have an open layup.
We're seeing a lot of open lanes and open layups on both sides right here. What both teams are going to want to do is step up that help side defense, make sure that they get none of those easy baskets.
Silas Swords, the 18-year-old, catches it here in the fourth quarter. She's trying to help Canada get to the 2024 Olympics, but her pass inside deflected and stolen. Casas stops to let some reinforcements come, and now Gustafsson with the mid-range jumper to give Spain the lead. 14 points for Megan Gustafsson. Alexander with a step to the hoop, flips it up with the right. She was completely given that lane by Heel and took it quickly.
Great read by a post when you're being overplayed by really aggressive defense. You know you have that advantage by a quick turn to the basket.
Pick and roll doesn't work, but here's the corner three for Spain, no good. And skying for the rebound is Swords. That's got to be a lot of pressure. 18 years old and as big of a game like this.
In the fourth quarter game against number 4 in the world, absolutely.
These are not development times right now. She's getting played because Victor LaPena thinks she gives Canada the best chance to win this game. Canadians turn it over. Casas with a kick out. Cathorla into the key, but her shot's short, and Achanwa snatches up the long rebound.
One thing Canada is doing really well is grabbing those defensive rebounds, giving only one look and nothing more.
Back-to-back double-doubles for Alexander. Achanwa flirted with it yesterday. She's had a lot of rebounds today. She gives it up with 5 on the shot clock. Carlton looking for her first make of the day, and it rolls off, but Achanwa with the board, and she draws a foul. It's a couple times now that Achanwa has given it away late in the clock and gone right to the hoop because she knows the shot's going up, and she's a really good rebounder. Natalie Achanwa with 6 points now, 10 rebounds. Canada trying to push their lead back to 3. Largest lead so far today was 5. And someone has brought an air horn to the arena.
Not the same environment that we saw yesterday with Hungary, but still lots of passion, lots of fans. That's not too far of a distance for Spain, probably a little bit longer for Canadian fans who want to go over and support.
Achanwa makes the free throw. Yeah, it's EU. It's only a couple countries over for Spain.
A few trains.
Yeah. Canada up by 2. Torrens hasn't been much of a factor. She sends it over to the left side. Now Gustafsson in the post, steps around her defender and scores. Might have been fouled anyway. That's a really good make for Megan Gustafsson. 16 points now. Canada needs to get it in and does. They'll break that full court pressure. Just over 5 minutes to go, and we are tied. The number 4 team in the world in Spain and the number 5 team in the world in Canada. Carlton on the fall away, short, and a rebound there for Ubiña. Heel fakes the 3, drives left, kicks it out. Ubiña for 3. A little bit strong, but Fields taps it over the Canadian baseline, and Spain will get it back.
We're starting to see Spain really start to pick up the defense, the full court defense again. And that's putting Canada in a bit of a tough position on the other side, starting their offense with maybe 10 seconds left.
Spain making a couple subs. They have to use a lot of bench to keep this high intensity game plan going. Raquel Carrera back in. Bounce to Ubiña. Now it goes up top. Torrens. Gustafsson wanted a 3, instead goes inside. Canada jumps the pass but can't steal it, but no make there on the inside by Carrera. Canadians come up with a stop. 5 minutes to go here. Canada looking to qualify for Paris. Colley bounce to Achanwa, and she'll turn it back outside. Carlton thought about the shot going in, and she scores her first bucket of the day to give Canada the lead.
That's a great decision by Carlton. When those shots aren't falling from the outside, get into the key. Either you're going to make it or you're going to get a foul.
And no lost confidence there from Carlton, even though she had missed some shots, still going right after the rim, and now Spain turns it over, looking for a Torrens back cut. And we were talking a bit at the break. Carlton also at the end of the third quarter came up with a huge block, and to not have, you know, she's a big scorer. To not have an offensive day like this affect your motor on the defensive side is impressive. Timeout called on the floor right now. Canada up by 2 with 4.5 minutes remaining. They are looking for their 4th straight Olympic berth. We'll see if they can do it when we come back. Four minutes and 28 seconds on the clock, and it probably feels like 4 miles for Canada, who is clinging to a 2-point lead and a chance to go to Paris. Welcome back to Arena Sopron in Sopron, Hungary. I'm Ben Schulman. She's Miranda Ayem. And Canada with the lead and the ball. Sammy Hill in the game. If Canada wins this, they will be in the 2024 Olympics. Bridget Carlton dribbles it back toward half. Just made her first basket of the game a moment ago. Carlton with 5 to shoot. Steps into the key. Fall away 2 off the rim and out, but Achanwa with the offensive board and kick out. 10 to shoot. Colley has the ball. Crossover left to right. Defender goes down. The shot goes up. It's an offensive foul on Shea Colley. They get her for the forearm there, I guess saying that she initiated the contact.
Interesting. No extension there, but definite contact. That's when you have to defer to the ref there.
Under 4 minutes remain. Ubiña free throw line jumper for the tie. No good. Offensive rebound by Casas, who somehow stays in bounds. Ubiña again. Runner from the baseline is no good. Rebound pops up and is ripped down by Achanwa. 11 rebounds now and 7 points for the team captain. Hill, crossover at half. Gives it off to Alexander, 10 to shoot. Carlton coming up for it, and she's fouled on a reach in there by Maria Conde. Everything feels tough right now. Handing the ball off to a teammate, getting over half. Spain is not giving them an inch.
That's exactly what you want to see from Spain, getting up in there, not making the job easy for the guard, but also seeing a lot of composure on Canada's side as well, taking care of the ball, making sure that they're really precise in the plays that they're calling as well.
Naira Fields to inbound for Canada. Colley, Carlton, Alexander, and Achanwa on the floor. Goes into Colley. Kind of a half double on the right side. Now just one defender. Colley bounces to Alexander. She's got to put it up soon. Alexander stripped, and it's Canada ball with 0.9 to shoot. They can catch and shoot here off the inbound.
So what you're going to be looking at under the basket, if it is indeed under the basket, I believe it is.
Although there's going to be a coach's challenge right now. Spain thinks that that one went off Canada. Interesting. It's possession late in the game, and you might not have another chance to use your challenge, but Canada only has 0.9. So Miguel Mendez really wants this. This is a tough spot for Canada, even if they have the ball.
That's a great point, Ben. It might be to kind of let Canada do the best that they can in this space because, like you said, it's going to have to be an alley-oop going towards the basket.
Out of bounds. Rolling on the floor is white ball, and we want to check which team caused the ball to go out of bounds.
So it looked like Heel got a hand in there, and that's why it rolled away. We'll get a better look at this angle.
Tell me what you see.
This is the goal, last touch from 22 red. This
okay,
is what I'm calling.
Can we go back?
Can we go back?
So the call by the referee on the floor, he's saying, is that Conde, 22,
okay,
poked it away.
White, red,
she definitely smacks it.
The elbow.
Can we go back to see? Just double check.
And they want to see if the ball hit the arm of Alexander again. I don't think it hit that foot that flew forward.
No, oftentimes in those positions it does roll off the leg out of bounds, but here it looks like it might have touched her elbow there.
White, red.
It does look like the ball changes rotation a little. It was always going to rotate toward the baseline, but I agree, it does look like it might have hit her elbow.
Tough from this angle.
But again, just to talk about the situation with the challenge, Spain's a transition team in a lot of ways. Canada has 0.9, an unlikely situation. So instead of gambling there, can you stop them on 0.9 and get out running? If Spain wins this, Canada sets their defense up in their own half, where they've been largely successful today. I do think that this is a debatable challenge in some ways.
Absolutely, and you speak to the strategy of last-minute decisions. Especially, I do not envy the coaches in these type of games, trying to make those calls, being strategic with their timeouts as well.
And regardless, they're going to say that the call stands. So Canada is going to end up with the basketball here. And 0.9, like you had mentioned earlier, they'll try to go inside. Ran a play earlier to Alexander. They're going to go to the corner, and the quick three is off the backboard and out. Spain comes up with the rebound. Ubiña with under 3 minutes to go. Spain trailing by 2. A Canada win would put them in Paris and put Spain at 0-2 in this tournament and in jeopardy of missing the Olympics altogether. Cazorla for the lead. Got it! Huge shot with 2.5 to go. Now Canada playing from behind, which they haven't much in this second half. Achanwa fighting up top to get the ball. She has it now on the right wing. Carlton with 8 to shoot. Defender on her back. Has to put it up soon. Step back at the free throw line. Glances off the rim. And Spain takes over up 1. Ubiña driving. Reverse layup is good. And Spain's up 3. Victor La Peña incensed on the Canadian sideline. And he wants a timeout. What kind of stuff do you think's going on now in this timeout? Canada moments ago up by 2, they now trail by 3.
When you talk about the strategy that we were just referencing before, this is exactly what we're talking about. Victor LaPena in the position of having to gather his team together, put a pin in the momentum that Spain is building, but also bringing the Canadian team together in what they need to see both on the defensive side and the offensive side. Defensively, Spain is just penetrating through their defense right here. We're seeing a lot of gaps. We're seeing that ball screen defense being a little bit looser than we'd want, and Spain is getting open shots right here. They at least need to be contested for Canada to get a good look on the other side.
The reverse make on the drive there, right before the timeout by Cristina Ubiña, has made this a 58-55 game. A game that's gone so back and forth. Spain is led by double digits multiple times. Canada had that huge third quarter that they just put up on the screen a moment ago, but Spain here responding in the fourth. What can Canada do with 120 seconds sitting between them and potentially the 2024 Olympics? Achanwa's going to bounce it in. Here's Shea Colley in Canada. Bounce to the middle of Naira Fields. She wants to tie the game, but it's off the mark. A lot of fighting underneath the hoop, no call. And Spain takes back over, up 3. Canada in desperate need of a stop. Drive to the inside. Cazorla nearly had it poked away. 10 to shoot, flips it across the court. Conde back to Cazorla, and a reach-in foul is going to go against Canada. Shea Colley called for the foul.
On the other side, those are those shots that you need to take wide open at the top of the three, especially when it's going down to the wire. You don't know if you're going to get a better shot.
Canada is 2 for 6 from 3 today. Ubiña with the deep 2, swish, and Spain up 5 with 1:20 to go. Canada needs to get going quickly here if they're going to tie or take the lead in this game with limited time left. Field steps around her defender, tried to dump it off to Alexander. It was read by Heel and stolen. Spain in the other direction and content to try and kill as much clock as possible. Carlton getting very aggressive on D, and now a foul is going to go against the Canadian.
Yeah, that's necessary now. Now we're just in a game with the clock. What Spain is going to want to do is just wind down that time till we get to the buzzer there. Canada needs to get as many possessions as we can here.
Inbound to Ubiña. Under a minute to go, Spain by 5. Conde slipping around her teammate Heel. Shot off 1 foot's too strong. Rebound for Canada, and they got to go. 40 seconds left in the game, down 5. Fields behind the back, into the key, takes some contact, missed the shot. No call as 2 different Canadians and a Spaniard are down on the floor. And Natalie Achanwa is still down. We see the collision of bodies. Alexander went down, Carrera went down, and then as Achanwa went for the rebound, oh, it looked like her head hit the floor.
It did look like there was a bit of a bounce on the floor, and that's tough in those positions. We don't want to see those head injuries.
It appears that Achanwa is up and walking to the bench. She's all right. Canada still trying to fight here for the Olympics, down by 5 with 32 seconds to go in Chopron. Last gasp for the Canadians, down by 5, 32 seconds to go, and they need a turnover here if possible. Spain with the ball, a huge Spanish run in this fourth quarter to take back the lead and give the Spaniards a chance here to knock off number 5 in the world, Canada. I'm Ben Schulman, she's Miranda Iam, and it's all out for the steal, right? Who cares if you foul?
Absolutely. They're going to have to gamble a little bit here. Time is not on their side, but aggressiveness is.
Canada led just about 2 minutes ago. The inbound pass gets in. Canadians without a foul yet. A lot of pressure on the ball. Ubiña picked up by Amiher, bounce inside, and an open three for Spain, but it's not good. Offensive rebound though, and that is killer. The Canadians now have to foul. They decided to play straight up defense, and to get the ball back there would have been massive. Instead, Spain going to the line.
That's got to feel like a bit of a dagger after that intense defense. Almost got a tip there, it felt like. Almost got the rebound and having to reset and go into a timeout.
Spaniards fired up. I mean, this was in many ways as huge of a game for Spain as it was for Canada. There was a chance, or there still is a chance, Spain loses this game and goes 0-2. They're kind of in a do or die situation on Sunday. So this, coming off of the Japan loss, which probably would have fired them up emotionally anyway, was a massive, massive game. And credit to Spain, for large parts of this game, they've been the better team. It's just been some huge Canadian runs that have gotten Canada some leads late.
Absolutely, and you speak to the motivation behind the games and the energy that the teams are bringing into each day. That has a huge impact, just as much as the technical and strategic things that we talk about here. And like you said, when it's down to the wire, Spain usually comes out to play. They had a bit of some fallow moments here in the game, but still, at the end of the game, the fourth quarter, this is usually where Spain shines.
They definitely have in this fourth quarter. 15-7 is their lead in this quarter for Spain. They'll be at the free throw line coming out of this timeout, or a heel. And Canada's hoping at most it's one made free throw. That would keep it at least a 2-possession game. You can go fire some threes, see if you can come up with a turnover or more missed free throws. They actually didn't call that, pardon me. I thought that she was on the way back up, but instead it's an inbound. So Canada now looking for a steal or a foul again. That is an offensive foul as Conde dipped the shoulder into Amiher.
I'll take that.
That's a definite offensive foul, extended the left forearm. So Canada takes it back. They call a timeout with 9 seconds left. So now the Canadians, it's almost got to be a quick three, right? At least anything quick.
Absolutely, anything quick. I'd say whatever you can get at this point. With 9.2 seconds, get it up the floor, get it to in the hands of your fastest guard so you can get it over real quick.
Canada hasn't shot a ton from outside today. Naira Fields, though, does have a make. So does Shea Colley. Coming into this tournament, Colley definitely one of the sharpshooters on the team. Maybe Ace Koenig, she's one of the sharpshooters on the team as well. See what kind of lineup Victor Lapena wants to go with here as Canada looks for a miracle if they can get 5 or 6 points here in the last 9 seconds. It's going to be the starting lineup back on the floor. Good news to see Achanwa back on the floor, who had a hard fall just about 20 game seconds ago.
Absolutely, that bodes well for the rest of the tournament with her.
Second game of 3. They beat Hungary yesterday, trailing right now to Spain. And looking for a very quick shot. Colley to inbound, to Achanwa, back to Colley, and she stepped on the baseline out of bounds. Turnover on Canada. And that might do it here with 5 seconds left.
Great idea on the play, but those are those little precision details that count in those moments like those. And Spain going the other way, hoping for maybe a quick steal here, just to close it even more and finish with a bang.
Spanish defense has been really, really solid in this quarter. Canada hasn't scored a bucket in about 4.5 minutes. And this game lower scoring than either of the 2 games that Canada or Spain played in yesterday. They get it into heel. Spain just trying to run the clock out. Long pass intercepted. Yvonne Ejim puts it up, and that will do it. Canada falling 60-55 to Spain. It looked like for a moment there they might have that definitive berth in their hands, but they were a little bit inconsistent today. The only quarter that Canada won was that big third quarter.
It's definitely got a sting. It's going to take a moment for Canada to collect themselves, but they fought back. They showed grit in this game, and I think they're going to bring that into the game against Japan on Sunday.
Canada going toe-to-toe with Spain, 60-55. The final score in the game. The Canadians will have to wait until Sunday to see if they are getting to Paris. Game is done, but our coverage is not. Danielle and Sherm coming up.
Thank you so much, Ben. Yes, Sherman and I from the Sportsnet studio. Unfortunately, Canada falling 60-55 to Spain, so we cannot say that they are Paris-bound yet. They will play on Sunday against Japan to determine their fate. Top three from their group, of course, advance. And with Spain falling to Japan in their opening bout, we had a feeling that the fourth-ranked team in the world would have a lot of fight in this one, and we saw that. But Sherm, let's go back to Canada's response coming out of the halftime. They were down by 11. They outscored Spain 23-9 in that quarter, and it was mainly because of their defensive activity.
Yeah, they were very active. They went on that 9-0 run to start, and you think about the anatomy of a comeback. You got to get the stop. You got to score, stop, score, stop, score. They did that, and they presented themselves an opportunity to get back in the game, and they actually took the lead. But I thought they were aggressive. I thought defensively they were active. They finally made another three, and they pushed the pace, and they scored in the paint against Spain and really had Spain on their heels throughout that whole time. And I think the problem now, you expended a lot of energy. So the physiology of a comeback means now, where is that energy going to cost you? At what point? We found out late in the game.
Well, and it felt like it was little moments you were noticing that Spain was making the right plays when it counted. It in that fourth quarter. Canada just didn't have any offense and weren't able to slow them down.
Yeah, and you could tell the fatigue factor might have set in from the position of the idea of just mental mistakes. And a lot of people think when you fatigue, it's the body, it's the mind, the decision process, the idea to stay to the script. And you see multiple times defensively, not doing the things that they're supposed to do, going under a screen on a shooter, that's a mental mistake. Giving up driving lanes, that's mental mistakes. And you saw that happen fairly consistently enough in that fourth quarter late in the game. So you wonder how much that comeback and the energy exerted in that third quarter cost Canada late in the game. But they had a chance. And more importantly, this isn't over for Canada. They're going to have another opportunity. They've got to learn from this one, though.
And there were some things, obviously, Kayla Alexander with a massive double-double, coming off a double-double in that opener, too. She had 17 and 14. And as well, Leticia Amaher coming off the bench and providing the pop that you were hoping to see when they needed a lift.
Absolutely. And coaches love that. When they look down the bench, they want to see somebody that they can look at, and they know exactly what they're going to get every time they put them in the game. And Leticia provided that for Canada. I thought her energy was excellent, her defensive intensity, her attention to detail was very good. And when they needed scoring early in the game, she came off the bench, 4 points quickly, got them back into an offensive flow, and she did it again later in the game. So that's a really good sign moving forward for this team.
Listen, they said it was the group of death in Hungary, and they were not kidding, because when you look at the standings after this early round, we've now got Spain and Canada both 1-1 through play. Japan and Hungary will play their second game a little bit later. And then, of course, on Sunday, it is Canada taking on Japan. Top three of those four will advance and Eastern on Sportsnet tip-off at 9 a.m. So Canada running out of steam against Spain, who were so hungry in that fourth quarter to earn themselves a 60-55 victory. Canada will regroup, so please rejoin us Sunday morning bright and early as we see if the Canadian women can send themselves to the Olympics.